Alright, so in today's video we are comparing two completely different ends of the spectrum as far as cooking while you're out camping, overlanding, whatever you want to call it. We got the $30 option from Walmart, the Ozark Trail. We'll get into that. And we have the $130 option from Campstove. First we're going to take a look at the Ozark Trail. Alright. This is something I think is going to be the more common option that people wind up with. When you look at it in the box or in the photo, there's a couple of things you should probably know before you actually purchase it. Like, for instance, it's hollow, okay? Just for comparison's sake, everything's protected under there. Oh, okay. Moving forward, let's just take a look at this grate that miraculously fell off for me. Okay, I love when that happens. It's extremely thin. Okay, come in and look at this. That's kind of, situation we're looking at here. Oh, I just broke it a little bit. Still works though. That'll probably be okay. But as you can see, the spots that have been heated, they just, what's that all about? So, aside from that, before this was even, warped a little bit from these guys, getting this thing to fit in here in such a way that it actually stores in these little clips is like the most chintzy thing on the planet. It just falls right out constantly. So, let's just continue on and open this up. We got some legs for it to stand on. They're functional. They do their job. Open up this wind guard here. Alright. Snaps in. Okay. Come take a look at this. Look at that. This one no longer wants to snap, so don't worry, I've already found the solution is to take something and to push that clip out. But, you do that every time. It's not that big of a deal. And now you have your nice, sturdy, thick, it's lightweight. That's why it's like that. Yeah, it's because it's lightweight. And when you're putting this in your backpack, you really want it to be lightweight. Nobody's bringing this backpack, and it does not need to be lightweight. It needs to be able to take a beating in the back of my truck. It needs to be able to withstand the abuse just being in storage, right? So that grating goes on there. These knobs, they're super loose. I've tried tightening them repeatedly. As you can see, this little nut here. If you tighten up that nut, you can get a little more tension on the knob. But in all reality, this thing you don't want that. Okay, you're trying to cook for yourself, and this might be your only way to feed yourself or your family. God forbid you spend $30 on something to heat all of your food, to heat all of your food and cook everything you have. So we're gonna move on to the Campstove. 1 second. Just for comparison's sake, let's just leave it sitting there. Here, we have some nice knobs. Okay, same adjustability. If you give that nut back there a little bit of a tighten, you'll get a little more resistance. You give it a loosen, you'll get a little less. We got an onboard igniter. Okay, it's held closed. The bottom's not hollow. This thing feels like something that's not going to get destroyed instantly. I've spent probably close to 60 days camping and using that every day. And the wind, okay, talk about a wind guard. How much wind goes through that slit right there? And it's impossible to use on your tailgate. Moving on, we have the Campstove. Okay, for, Please excuse its slightly used condition. Let's just look at the grade. Okay, I'm not gonna ruin this one. Okay, this one is nice. It's twice as thick, easily. Okay, we got the grill platform, and we have a flat top, and both work great. They have like non-stick something on them that just really seems to work really well. These stems are a big, topic for discussion here. The stem on this, in comparison to the stem that comes with that, which is already broken and mangled, and I don't even want to talk about it. It's made of aluminum. It's hard to get in and out. The needle valve in here failed. I probably would blame that on some kind of contaminant in the line, but when you just look at the parts, it's not a high quality thing. The regulator section is half the size. Okay, there's just multiple glaring issues. This tube is like steel. It's something much more. It seems like stainless steel. It seems to be at least coated in the same thing as the grating. Much higher quality product to work on. Our guards, once they come down on, they actually clip on, and they're secure, and the thing isn't rattling all over the place. Okay. Oh, my hands are freezing. Okay. All right. Once this whole thing's put together, okay, I understand not everybody has, $130 to spend on their camp stove, but if this is your only way to feed you guys when you're going out and having a good time, you really, really should consider the quality difference that you're going to get spending $30 versus $130. Gas consumption, I don't think should really, come to play, because if you're using small propane tanks, the screw-on kind, which these are generally advertised to use, you're going to get, probably 2 or 3 cook session difference out of the tank, which could be a lot for some people, and it's not really a lot for us, because we have this tank, and on the tank we have this line. Okay, and this is a very common item. You can buy this right at Walmart. These are generally advertised to be used with a Mr. Buddy here, and that coupled with a gauge from Harbor Freight, your gas consumption is not really an issue at all. I just like to add in, okay, that this is all sitting on a nice REI table. Okay, take a look at this. Most people don't consider, as a little side note, that adjustable legs on a table are required. They really are, because you wind up on unlevel ground. It's jostling around. Okay, there's a couple items that when you're out there camping, it's worth spending the money on. And when it comes to how you're going to feed yourself or how you're going to keep yourself warm, I wouldn't compromise and spend $30. Okay, because the wind, the lack of quality here is just really kind of disturbing. That really just shouldn't exist. Expensive stoves save lives. Do you want to be the guy that dies because you bought a cheap stove? Because the gas line stopped working. Do you want to be that guy? I don't know. Hold on. Anyways. Don't go out like that. Okay, so aside from obvious quality issues with something super cheap, back to the main point of the video. This is really worth the money, okay? Coming from somebody that started with a little backpacking camp stove, the little peat burner on top of the little butane tank. I came from that, and there's a reason why now I own this, okay? And it took time, and it took experience, and some harsh lessons, but that doesn't work anymore. And that stopped working in a situation when I needed it to work. And I couldn't feed myself. That's not good, okay? I don't want anybody else to be in that kind of situation. So forgive me for trying to justify spending slightly too much money, but this is something that I really think is this is worth the dollars you're going to spend on it. The types of food that we cook on this compared to that is also very different. We're much quicker to enjoy actual breakfast items instead of just heating up water and making oatmeal or I don't know, heating up water. I think the flat top is just so convenient. Give it a wipe down every day. As you can tell, there's a little grease on it. Forgive me, but I'd rather have you guys know that I actually use the product than sit there and worry about how pretty it looks on camera. I haven't used the grill, to be completely honest with you guys. The only thing I was worried about with that actually is if there was any drippings. I can't see them going anywhere in there, so I would just watch that. But the only downside I've had of this is after experiencing cooking on a flat top while camping, a level surface is kind of required. And this is where I'll kind of segue slightly into this table. We got this at REI after experiencing a rickety situation with a cheap table, and it really is a game changer having a surface that okay, you crack an egg. What happens to the egg? It rolls right to the edge, and it's just making messes. And if let's say now you're making bacon, slightly too much oil you let build up in there, when you're on level, it just comes spilling out, and you're making messes and stuff. So that's another thing that I learned. Don't buy the cheapest option. There's a lot of things that you can buy that are cheap and will serve you very well while you're out there, but when it comes to the way you're gonna feed yourself, the stove mostly here, this is an invaluable object compared to that piece of junk. Okay, that might get you by for a weekend, but I still don't like the idea of going anywhere with that and relying on it. It's just not. I give that a hard fail, hard fail. And this guy, it's just, I just feel a lot better about it. It even comes with a case. That's a sign of a quality product. It comes with a carrying case. All right, and it's not the internals of the object. We're just exposed. When you're using one of these stoves, okay, if this little copper line, if this gets pinched off just one time because it's sitting in the back of your truck and jostling around, if that gets kinked just once, it doesn't work. And I would love to see you unkink this and reattach that after opening it up in the back of your truck and finding something like this. It's just not going to happen. You're going to be either cooking on your fire, if you have the equipment to do so, or you're driving out of there, and nobody wants that. Oh, look. That's not surprising at all. I mean, it's still in one piece. Oh. It's kind of in one piece. It's not that big of a piece of junk. No, it can't be that big of a piece of junk. Yeah. Oh. What's that? Oh, those pins are actually bent on both sides. Okay, so you can't those won't just fall out on you. Okay, that's the one thing that doesn't just fall apart on here. Huh. Oh, that knob. Oh, it's a good knob. Yeah. The burners are in there. Yeah. It's probably enough of that. Buy yourself a camp chef. So yeah, in conclusion, spend the money. This is an item where it's actually because we do not litter. Leave no trace. Even if you destroy something for fun out in the middle of nowhere, take it with you.